Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Populous Podcast. My name's Craig, and I'm joined by Keith.
Hey!
And I'm joined by Hugo.
Hello. Hi.
And I'm joined by James.
Hello. God, why am I the most energetic person? What are y'all
Because
doing?
I am
Hugo's
clearly dying.
Hugo's dying. James just got out of work and is literally almost dying.
And we're going to discuss everything Populous at the beginning.
Literally
Right.
almost dying.
That intro was horse shit.
Wasn't that bad?
That was horse shit. Everyone talking on top of one another. Ugh.
It's more
funny.
instantaneous that way. It's better.
Yeah.
You can't just use that as an excuse for everything.
Oh, fuck
we'll
off.
We'll have the introduction too, the little musical introduction
Do we have a musical introduction?
for the Populous Podcast. No, I don't have one made. I could get one.
If I told you to sing something to the Animaniacs theme tune, you should do that.
Yeah,
something,
I'll do that.
anything.
You should do something like the Populous beginning. At the beginning, there were visions. You could do something like that.
In the manna, in the vision.
It flow through me like a fire. I don't know.
What the fuck is that?
You've never seen the Populous cinematics?
No. I mean, I have. Not with... Actually, yeah, I have. But it's... I don't know. I probably didn't even speak English when I saw them.
You don't remember when you used to die on a level and your shaman mask would fall through an earthquake in the ground and it would be game over?
I remember that.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh my god, where have I been?
You probably just weren't born.
I mean, that's fair.
I think for some reason the single player version of Pop right now, it doesn't play that movie when you die.
No, the
in some way.
downloads don't come with the cinematics. I don't even know if the G or G version comes with them ones.
Probably. How much is it, by the way?
$5.
That's cheap.
It's $5 too expensive in my opinion.
Just because it's a fucking 20-year-old game?
No, because the GOG version is just inferior. It doesn't you can't get higher resolutions. It doesn't even work on, they don't give any instructions for getting it to work on Windows 10 or anything like that.
You tried it? Did you buy it?
No. I've just seen all the reviews and people on the GOG forums not being able to play it.
Oh, they're fucking stupid. Okay, we're used to that kind of shit. We're survivors.
And I'd like to remind everybody that Craig said everything Populous at the beginning.
Hey, literally everything.
Yes.
So we're joined by James today. James is known as currently Ratchet on the Populous Matchmaker. How are you doing, James?
I am doing very well today. I just got home from work and I had a bit of ice cream before we started, so I've got all the energy I need to keep
Cookies
going.
and cream? Cookies and cream ice cream? Because that's the only ice cream that's really
No, Magnum
best,
ice cream.
to be honest. Oh.
Is Magnum an ice cream or a lolly?
In America, they're condoms. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm serious. Magnums, they're condoms.
Magnum is a type of ice cream, like a chalk ice, basically. And when I opened the tub, the top of it was just covered in chocolate, and underneath was just layers of ice cream and chocolate under that. So, there you go. It was
Also, it wasn't a Magnum lolly. It was like they do Magnum buckets of ice cream, do they?
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
They
yeah,
do?
I got it from like Domino's last night. It's kind of like I don't know.
It's like a
Explain
pint. It's like a pint, isn't it?
it. Yeah, pretty much, but like in a tub shape, not like a glass or anything like that. But like this tub that's I would say a pint. There's Magnum ice cream in it.
Yeah. Anyway, so what Craig failed to mention to our viewers is that, to our listeners, is that James was a player back in the EA times as well. Well, actually, not the EA times.
Technically.
The reincarnation of Populous when it was launched on Alan's Matchmaker, or Allison. How do you say his name?
I say
Alaknin?
Alakna.
No one
Alaknin.
fucking knows.
Like he's like
Alaknin
Aladdin,
is the
but
way they say
Alaknin.
Well, he's Brazilian, so it's probably Ellison. Like, his actual name's probably Ellison.
Okay, so let's call him Allison, like a female. So
I can't do
Allison's
it.
Matchmaker.
Ellison is not a female name in Brazil, you piece of shit.
Well, it is. So
In America, America's not the whole world. Go fuck yourself.
it is. Trump is king.
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God.
Allison's also a female name in England. So.
Both English-speaking countries, for God's fucking sake.
All right. Well, anyway, so basically, James was also known as Tails and Joe TDM, like Joe. That was
Yep,
his-
that's right.
And
also, Happy Hugger and Call Me Emperor as well.
Proud of those names.
Nobody knows those names.
Shut up. Some players do. So put them in.
Yeah.
Nobody knows Cheetah anyway. So
what year did you officially join the Matchmaker, James?
I joined Populous Reincarnated 2002, but joined the Matchmaker 2003 when I kind of realised there was a online thing about it. Because I saw the forums, I thought that's all it was, and then I saw the Matchmaker and I decided to join that. And my first ever username was Joe1000. And the moment I joined, another newbie asked me to join their game immediately. And it was like, Joe, join. I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. What, this is online? Oh my god. Yeah, I got that, and I won my first game. I think it might have been Pressure Point, and I ended up winning it. Remember that. But after that, I think my second match was 2 crabs, 1v1, and I got demolished. And yeah, I had to face up to the reality that I sucked. Had to get good.
And you played actively for what until when? 2007, 2008?
I would say between 2006 and 7 was when I kind of deteriorated. But until then, I think I peaked around about 2005. That's when I started to be a serious challenge to basically everyone.
Can confirm.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. Yeah, I'll probably say I don't want to sound immodest. I was a Shaman player back then.
James basically had a temper, though. That's the thing. Like James had a temper, and he was very, very prone to getting upset at the game real quick. And once glitches became far more prominent, like James used to get pissed about the no spells being able to be cast and stuff like that, but that wasn't like he would just get pissed about every single little glitch, and he was just like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, it was.
He's like, fuck this game. I'm done. I'm leaving. And I was like, no, don't go.
Whenever my clicks would not go through, that seriously irritated me, because I really needed my Shaman to move a certain place and she wouldn't, and I would get so hostile to that, like adrenaline fueled. It was just, I was one of those temper people. Yeah. If you think John McEnroe, that'd be a decent metaphor for that. Except I usually try my best not to take it out on anybody else. It would just be kind of behind my monitor. I would shout at it. I wouldn't actually type in "this is bullshit" unless it really was special. But I first got into Pop single player before that. 1998, I got my first ever computer. I was only 8 years old at the time. We had a first family computer, and the guy who installed it for us installed Populous and made it run so that it didn't need the CD to run. And you could even say it was one of my first PC games for that reason. So I kind of I was into it like 5 years before I started playing it online, which is kind of neat. Got used to that. So
do you still play the game now?
Yeah, here and there, but nowhere near as seriously as I did. I recently bought the PS1 version of the game. Don't know if I told you this yet. I got it running on the PS2 because the PS2 runs PS1 games. I plugged the PS2 into a PS3 cable because they're backwards compatible. And then I plugged that PS3 cable into a game capture streamer, which is built for PS4s. I'm not making this up. And the game capture hooked up to my PC. So a couple of weekends back, I was streaming on Twitch, a Populous PS1 stream. A few people in the Matchmaker got to see that. I think I exported it to YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. So I'm still going through that. I've been through the first 12 levels on it on PS1, just out of curiosity. And wow, it is so different.
Did you say you were using a controller?
Yeah. It was a PS1 game, so I was using a PlayStation controller, yeah.
Nice. That's how I first played the game.
Probably disgusting. Super clunky.
Oh man, but back in the day you didn't really know any other, and it was just really, really good. And there's actually voiceovers for each level.
Oh,
yes.
For the PlayStation version?
Yeah, there's a guy who says, and he just gives you the intro and stuff, and when you do it, you are wasting mana, Shaman.
Your dungeon heart is under attack.
No, that's a different game.
It is.
I'll send you guys. I'll send you guys the link afterwards. He's a very melodramatic commentator, but he's pretty good.
He's pretty good at points when he's like he overemphasizes some things.
Yeah.
Shaman, you are wasting mana. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, that's it.
That should be in Populous multiplayer.
What baffles me
let's
is
be honest.
how come he was removed from the PC version? That's what I want to know.
Well, the PC
I don't
version was
know.
made first, wasn't it?
Can we launch a campaign for Inca and allow like auditions for voiceovers for people from the Populous community?
That would be
Just-
excellent.
And specific ones, specifically for Nietzsche. Nietzsche, you're trying too hard. Give people a chance.
Oh god.
You're going to implement them in the multiplayer.
Yes.
You don't get
yes.
notifications on multiplayer. You'd
But
actually be wanting voiceovers just randomly.
You're being side door, Shaman.
That would be fucking terrible.
Super fucking weird.
Just like easy mode.
Yeah. If you're playing against Nietzsche, you get you can enable voiceover notifications. Shaman, Nietzsche has casted Ghost Army on his Shaman.
Shaman, you are charging 3 spells at once. Charge only 1. It is better.
Holy shit.
But on the PlayStation, it actually pauses the game while he speaks to you, so you can't even do anything.
Oh, that's dumb.
Damon, there are no enemy buildings there. Why are you throwing an earthquake?
Yeah. You'd be using that a lot. That is a shit earthquake. Shaman.
You guys are so British.
We're so British.
Yeah, you're so British.
I'm just
There's
trying to... You guys go back to speed. I'm going to try and think of some more examples.
There's something else that I bought the other day. A few months ago, I was in Japan, and you're not going to believe this, but I saw in one of the stands on one of their basically otaku shops all these nostalgic games, and I found a genuine second-hand copy of Populous Beginning from Japan. So I just immediately bought it. I didn't care
Nice.
if I wasn't into Populous anymore. I just got it. But I have yet to put in the CD into my computer because I'm terrified that the CD's just going to give way because it's quite old, But I'm bound to, I'll give it a shot soon. I just want
I'll
to
just
try
keep
it
it for collector's edition. Don't open it if it's not been opened.
No, it has been opened. It's a second-hand original, yeah, but it's second-hand, so it's already been opened. But it is the original game, so that's why I got it. It's this big, massive case as well. It's like, I would say probably at least twice the size of a PS2 case. If you put them like side to side, flat down. I'm not explaining that right, but it's pretty big.
It seems we've lost Keith, so
Someone probably called him.
Probably.
Story of-
before we move on with more discussions, how about we backtrack and go over what's currently new in Populous?
Yes.
Yeah, there was recently... Well, first off, there was a matchmaker update because they had to close down the old server, and it's now being changed to a new server. There was some initial problems, but it seems to be fine now because I think it's called Tatey IRC, so I guess Tatey Mini is now hosting the IRC server. I don't know why they didn't just... If it's called Tatey Server, I guess he bought the server himself and then named it that. It might have been a bit more professional to call the Populous server, so when people log in, they see, well, you're connecting to the Populous server, but that's just my opinion.
Can I just say that I hate when a phone call comes in and it disconnects me from being able to talk to you guys?
Well, you can always use your fucking computer.
Yeah, you could sit down and do the podcast as intended.
I can guarantee you that people who do podcasts probably use their phone and then walk around and do other things. I can guarantee it.
I can guarantee you almost 95% people sit down in front of a microphone and have a quality
thing with people and talk.
Oh yeah, well, let's be honest. If we had a podcast where we were all together, that would absolutely be what happens. 100%.
Well, we're not all
But
together.
we're not all together, are we? Exactly.
Well, you got to do the best you can. Not walk around cutting the grass and taking phone calls.
Phone calls just come in. I can't help that.
Right. Just shut up. Let's carry on. What were we saying? Anyway, the new IRC... Get out.
God.
Get out. The new IRC server. Also, yes?
Is it faster?
No,
I think
it just does the job.
It takes a bit longer to connect, but it does the job all right.
What's the proposition of being able to utilize the IRC server to literally be the pinpoint focal area to be able to connect everybody universally?
I feel like you've just put a lot of words together and not actually achieved any sentence.
I think I came across pretty intelligent there.
What is the pinpoint focal advanced of this process that we are going to supplement towards it?
Words, and I'm going to say them fast, and I'm going to say that was an intelligent sentence.
Keith practicing for his politics.
I keep trying to say, what is the point of getting everybody in one room? and I think it kind of answers itself, Keith.
What? No, that wasn't what I was saying. I was saying, what is the possible? How close do you think we are to the fact of being able to utilize the IRC server to be able to implement universal hosting as a possibility by directly connecting to the IRC server instead of directly connecting with people's internet connections? How's that?
I get
How's that?
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like you need to just speak a bit more in layman's terms for the general geographic audience of this.
He wants the IRC as the server as the host and have everybody connect it. Basically.
Well, James, you work in programming and you know shit. Is that possible?
Inca has done something to make Populous run in headless mode. Now, what that means is...
like a chicken.
Yeah, it's probably a bad metaphor, isn't it? Well, that's what it's called, right? What happens is it doesn't run any graphics. It just runs as a .exe. So if you were to click it on your computer, you wouldn't see anything, but it is running. That's how the bots are generated. So a bot is basically hosted somewhere. I don't know where Inca's had it, and he has two people connect to that bot, and they can 1v1 each other, like that. But Inca, I imagine, is hosting it, or somebody is. But for the IRC to do it, I don't think so. I mean, a server of some kind would be able to do it. If you had Windows Server 2012 or whatever, and you kind of rented out a server, and you had the .exe running there, and you had multiple instances of it, then you could have several games running on that server at once. It wouldn't be an IRC thing, but it would be doable. I think IRC's different. IRC stands for Internet Relay Chat, or something like that. So it's kind of designed specifically for chat. I have, in terms of how Inca gets everybody flagged to be in a hut or not, I'm kind of a bit fuzzy on that. Right. But probably IRC would not be your best bet if you wanted to get Populous to kind of host for you.
There needs to be, for any of this, there needs to be some sort of funding. Basically, there was just a conversation in the matchmaker a little earlier today about someone asking how much does Populous rank need to generate, and it would make Inca said it was some negative number, which is probably is. He's not getting any funding. It does not real advertisements or anything. So,
what you said that other podcast about having some kind of
premium service,
upgraded version of the matchmaker where people pay to have better features. I think he ought to do that, because it would mean he'd get a bit of funding. It means that he could pay
$5 a month.
Yeah, he would pay people, like even programmers, to work on the beta. I think that would be really good. Now, I don't know about the legality behind that, because it's not exactly our game. But
what you do is you charge people to pay for the service, not for the game.
Yeah, but what he would do with that money in turn is paying programmers to upgrade the game, using the source code that we've got.
Yeah, so I feel like EA is still like breathing down. You know what? That's something we should have asked Inca on, like the podcast. We should have Inca on for a podcast.
He did say he would come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a really interesting thing, because legality-wise, I feel like EA is breathing down Inca's neck in a sense when it comes to that. But maybe they're not. Maybe they don't even give a fuck about this.
I really doubt.
I don't think they give a fuck.
The scale of EA, I really doubt they give a shit about this. The only way they'd give a shit if they start probably started generating money, and they thought that we should be generating that money. That's when they would come in, because they cunts like that.
Yeah, the moment
once Inca started making money, that's the question. What happens when Inca starts making money?
Yeah, the moment that it has like resources such as money involved in it, it's only then they would get involved, really. And
they probably just do cease and desist.
Yeah, that would be the first step, and then we would be in a horrible situation where we're like, "Oh crap, what do we do?" And then our inevitable downfall and everything crashes around us.
Yeah, as soon as EA says no, that's it. We're fucked, because they got so much money they can get. Yeah, we'd have no chance. But I don't see why there would be a problem in advertising the service, what you're paying for, and then the programmers who are working on it are doing something like a side hobby. You know what I mean? Not officially working on the game. They're working through the matchmaker to amend the game, but
unless Inca wants to pay us under the counter and try to hide it.
But I mean, there's not, even if people pay for that service.
With that now, James. Now that's out in the open with this Populous Podcast thing.
No, but even if he managed to, the programmers, I mean, don't they ask for a decent wage game programmers and things? So they're not going to.
It would have to be more of a freelance setup. It wouldn't be anything formal or anything like that. Because it would just be a one-time thing to just upgrade this bug, that bug, etc. And I don't know how Inca would feel about outsourcing it to programmers he doesn't know, besides anyone, outside the community. You probably want people who's been around the game for a while, I imagine. So,
I think it's a bit impossible. I mean, it's a fantasy. I think I would love to say it, but I think it's a fantasy. I think the game's too small. Even
You're
if people,
fantasy. You're my fantasy.
I know,
Craig.
baby. But even if we did the premium thing where people pay, there's not enough active players, and not all of them are going to pay. It's probably 10% would do it. So it wouldn't even
Michi's not even old enough to have
The
a credit
adults.
card. So
He is. He's not a
he's
fucking
not.
kid anymore. He's almost 20.
he is. He's 16.
No, he's almost 20. He's been 16 for
No,
like
he's
5
not.
years for you. He's almost
Oh,
19,
shit.
I think. It's like 19 and a half.
Wow. No shit.
People grow up, you fucker.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't grow up. I stay young at heart. It's important. I think it's honestly what keeps us going. If the minute we stop being young at heart is when we start to age, I think.
Isn't that a song by the Beatles?
Maybe.
Anyway,
Maybe.
Morbid to think
there was
about
the biggest update that's come to Populous in a while was the seasonal leagues, seasonal ranking
Oh
system.
yes, I'm a wildman again. I'm a wildman.
Your rank finally fits your skill level, Keith.
Wow, that was rude. That
You
was
fucking
rude.
asked for it. Like, honestly,
No, I didn't.
you did.
I never
There was
asked
a-
for any of this. I never
there was
asked
a
for
bit
this
of,
life, Hugo. I was a
Mm.
better player back in the day.
Yeah,
Speaking of
we were
stuff,
all better
Mark-
players when we played constantly. It's simple.
Yep.
It doesn't take a genius. You play once a week, play once a year. You're not going to be better than you were 10 years ago.
I know, but
That's
still,
pretty
I
much
just
my situation.
Yeah. I can't play like I could 10 years ago. Jesus Christ. I can't play like I could yesterday. I'm getting older every day.
I just wanna, I want to be able to just come on and kick ass no matter what. You know?
Not happening.
Well, you have to
Doesn't
play,
look like that.
play a lower ranked people. Now you're a wildman. You get to do that without feeling bad.
This is true.
There is something that we can say to others that make us feel better. Mind that Simpsons episode where Grandpa's kind of younger and Homer's kind of a kid, and Grandpa Simpson's like, I don't know what it is anymore. It all seems all weird and scary. And he just points at him and he goes, it will happen to you. And Homer's like, no way, man, we're going to keep on rocking forever. And it just fades to him as he is now in the mirror, and he's just all sad,
Yo, guys, question. Can you hear this?
Yes.
Holy shit, yes.
Yeah.
You can.
Okay.
We can hear it.
That's a
Please
saw.
don't do it.
And it's a saw, and I'm like trying to trim the hedges, but I guess I'll have to do that another time because it's so loud. Okay, all right, I'll wait. I'll wait to do.
Thank you.
Anyone who's listening to this podcast wants to put a compilation of things that Keith does while we're supposed to be doing a podcast, please get it done, and I'll put it on
What
the
do you
channel.
mean while we're supposed to be doing a podcast? I do the podcast while doing this stuff.
You disrupt the podcast, you motherfucker.
People like clear professionalism. They want to just listen to something in the background. They don't want to listen to people going run, 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 and then having a piss in the toilet,
No,
and going into
listen,
the laptop
this-
shop
this
to get the
draws
laptop
them back
fixed.
in. You could have somebody like let's say Jordan. Jordan's listening to this podcast. He's drooling on his desk, falling asleep. All of a sudden, my hedge clippers come in, and he's like, "What the fuck was that?" And then he's like, "Oh shit, the podcast is still going." All right, so I'm helping.
That is Matt's logic. What's going on with you?
You
That's
know,
not Matt's logic. Come on,
That's terrible logic. If the
quite a
podcast
stretch.
itself is boring someone to sleep, we don't just get fucking hedge trimmers out and start waking everyone up.
what if Jordan was just tired? He's having a really rough day at work, and he came back and
Then he wants to go to
he's like,
sleep.
"Oh."
He'll listen to it later, you cheeky bastard. Let him sleep.
There's been times where I've been sleepy, and I'll pull up a Friday Night Free for All, and I'll watch it until I start getting sleepy.
Oh, so in the future, the Friday free for all, you've got to do it in the garden while you're cutting the weeds.
I guess the show should have been cancelled.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, league rankings. Everyone was reset to a wildman at the beginning of July. It runs until the end of, I guess, September. That would be October, August, September. Yeah, beginning of October will be season 2. So I don't think there's any rewards or anything. That's all in Inca's end. But after 3 months, your rankings will be, stopped, and then you'll become wildman again. But
I think it's kind of cool how you have to keep racing to the top like that.
yeah, I think it helps. It helps.
Petition.
Competition, yes. Yes, that's the key word. Get that buzzword out there. Keith, you're good with buzzwords. Get some buzzwords out like you did before. Throw some adjectives at the seasonal leagues. Go.
He's too fucking busy.
Intriguing, mysterious, mystical, legendary, wildly enhancing. I don't know.
What is
That's all I
going
got right now.
on?
I'm coming up with adjectives to describe the seasonal leagues.
Populous leagues,
Yeah.
mystical, magical, wildly
Intriguing.
enhancing.
I think he's describing the shaman.
Oh, Keith, you should work in advertising. Stop running your office and get yourself in advertising.
Might I add that American advertising is fucking awful. Like, its
What?
marketing is just terrible. It's bad. It's very
But
bad.
it definitely works though? Apparently.
It's cringy. That's because Americans are fucking dumbasses. Like, honestly,
Wow.
it's so cringy. Like, Brazilian marketing is amazing. It's so good.
Oh yeah, give us an example.
I'm not in the fucking mood to link you to a video of a fucking commercial.
Well,
it's
he's not asking for a commercial, he's asking you to reenact it.
Yeah, you have to reenact it.
No, thank you. No, fuck you.
Coming next month into Brazil, one man makes his way to McDonald's. His name is Hugo, and he's taking an Uber.
Wow, that's 2 advertisements in one. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I
Collaboration.
know.
Right?
See, I've got skills. Guys,
Okay.
did you know that I'm an Uber driver now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you told us.
Okay.
next thing, he says, "Yeah, so I'm gonna Uber drive while we do the podcast."
we'll get
just-
we'll get extra guests. Guest starring.
Guys, I don't know if you can hear, but I'm actually just turned on my car, and I'm driving to go pick somebody up who needs a ride. Not an Uber driver, not an Uber ride. I'm just picking up my buddy who needs a ride to the bank.
My
So,
fucking god, Keith.
Are you serious?
sort of, yeah, sort of.
Sort of. Okay, I'll take it as maybe you're not, so maybe we will continue.
No, I actually am, but it's
So
a
you-
15-minute drive to go pick him up, and it's fine. Continue. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm ready.
You're noisy.
Oh, my question for James. Back in the day, you used to be one of the best players. Back in 2004, 2005, you were definitely one of the top players. And you and I used to be allies before Craig came around.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So you took a couple years off. Like you came back in like 2007, 2008, I think. No. You came back in like 2009. And we played together. And I was so excited that you were back because I was like, oh shit, it's going to be like old times. And then we started playing. And I realized that you were not as good as you used to be, and you were very rusty. And I was like, oh, well, we'll just keep playing and he'll get it back. But your speed and your strategy never came back. What happened?
I think it happens with all players is that they reach a peak of some kind and then just never get there again. I think it's just, I think I must have been like 17, 18 at that time. I was just, I couldn't invest the same amount of time into Populous that I did before. So I think it's just as simple as that, really.
I
You
think
kind
you're
of
right.
you want to get back. Sometimes you have this feeling, oh, maybe I should get back into it, and it's just a feeling of nostalgia. You kind of want to relive a few things, and then when you get to play, you get that feeling, and then it kind of dissipates after a while, and you kind of lose your motive after a bit.
I don't know. I guess you're right. I guess I feel the same way because I'm definitely not as good as I used to be. And there was a period of time where I was one of the top players, and now it's like I barely win against Moore's Murder or I fucking lose to him. And it's from simple mistakes and shit, but I don't know, like I wish I could do a better job of being more alert and aware of what I'm doing, and I wish I didn't have to spend like a month of playing Populous nonstop because I don't have that time anymore. I'm like 28 years old. I got so much stuff to do that I can't find the time to do it. And
I don't think it's
then you
any coincidence that Nisi is pretty much younger than us, like something like 19, 20. That'd be around about the right age to get a peak.
Yeah, that was
surpassed
when
by
I
them.
hit. That was when I hit my peak. To be honest, like I was really good at Populous back when Craig and I were playing, and then Genesis came on the scene, and he was even younger than me, and he started. He had better reflexes, and he had better strategy, and I tried to
Well, I
keep up
should
with
mention
him
that
and Craig. I couldn't.
I should mention,
Then Craig
by
and
the way,
Genesis left. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Back around about 2004, I introduced Max into Populous. He didn't play it as much. I introduced Smudgy, introduced Genesis, introduced Pink and Kid as well. Because we all went to the same school, basically. school's not standing anymore, but we were all basically, we knew each other because we went to the same school, and we all got into it and we all talked about it during class, things like that. So you've got me to thank for Genesis that way. For
Yeah,
introducing
that's
one of
true.
the
I
greatest-
didn't even think about that. So you're why Genesis came to see, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. I trained him for a bit, and then he surpassed me in god awful ways. And then, yeah, he got so good.
And then he got better than Craig.
No, he did. Craig just wasn't good enough.
Thank you for joining the fucking joke. Oh my
Sorry,
god. I thought you were going to ruin it.
I know, I almost did.
So the seasonal leagues, right?
Fuck the seasonal leagues, Craig. We already talked about it. We said enough.
Talk about disrupting the fucking podcast.
We went from seasonal leagues to hedge clippers to James to Genesis. Now back to the seasonal league.
Well, there are seasonal leagues.
There are,
Yeah.
and people are reset and they're climbing back up to their respective ranks. And Nietzsche's back up to number one as usual. Nobody expected anything different, but it's actually weird to see the leagues now because all the different people are on there now. There's not the same people that I remember being up there.
There's also some fake namers coming to brew. You know, people say this is an opportunity to start creating new accounts and whatnot.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that.
There's someone called...
Can I have permission?
No. What? There was someone called Saka who's changed his name to Ryunosuke at the moment. He's like High Fire Warrior Shaman. And surprisingly, this guy is from America, judging by his IP. And he's played 72 games in like 10 days. And surprisingly, Matt has played less games over that time. So I think I can put 2 and 2 together there.
Oh yes, yes.
Also, the matchmaker's been a lot more quiet.
Well, you'll just have to bait him into to revealing himself without him realizing he's revealing himself.
Or
play a
just
game with
fucking
him.
Just
straight up
play him.
ban the account, because let's be real here.
Well, you know, if I was in control of that, I would just delete all these obvious fake accounts straight away, but that's not my jurisdiction, I'm afraid. I don't have delete privileges.
Ew.
I
that
kind of
sucks.
like the seasonal leagues though, because there's the other thing you have to consider is that if you're somebody new and you see all these high ranks, you might feel a bit demotivated. But
No,
if
it's true.
it suddenly
It's
changes
true.
to wildman, you suddenly think, oh, I'm in with a chance. There's a bit more motivation to kind of get good and jump ahead of everybody else before anybody else, and then.
Definitely, that's what I said. It's encouraging for new players to join the lobby who can see other wildmen to play games with. Even if they're going to get crushed by these wildmen, it's still games, isn't it?
Yep, and it's more games than they would have had. Wildmen are much more open to playing with Wildmen.
Well, it gives more incentive for the better players to play these low players too, because they'll get the points off them because everyone's Sigma and MU gets reset at the start, so they'll need to play them to get back up.
I asked, the minute I came into the matchmaker as a Wildman, I asked one of those upper Fire Warriors to play, and I rushed him, but I didn't rush him. Like, I did what I won 2 Shaman battles in a row, and I was like, oh, his defense is shit. I'm just going to take these 15, 18 Fire Warriors I have and 8 Warriors, and I'm just going to go in, and I'm going to pin them down. And then he's like, why'd you rush? And then I actually got 230 points for that game, so that was pretty cool.
Nice. Good job, buddy.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so
You're
much.
such a dirty piece of shit.
You won a Shaman battle.
What?
You won a Shaman battle.
I did. One time. Twice.
Twice.
Yeah,
He's
that's
driving.
where that's where I'm really struggling in Populous again, is my Shaman duels. Like if there's 5 Fire Warriors in a circle around me, I used to be able to shoot all 5 of them within like 2 or 3 seconds. Now it's like taking like 5 or 6 seconds. Like I'm like and it's really
I can
hard for
still-
me to have good reflexes.
I can still shoot the Fire Warriors reasonably, but I do have to kind of hesitate just a slight moment just to make sure I've actually clicked
but
it
that
and not clicked the
hesitation
ground.
sets us back.
Yeah.
I think we should
Why am I
rename this
attacking so
podcast.
much now?
Oh my god, I was going to say that.
Let's call it the
can I say
Keith Relearns Populous Podcast, episode 8.
Oh, that's not what I was going to say.
Go on,
Oh,
go.
what were you gonna say?
I was going to say the title should be We Suck, since the only thing people talk about in this fucking podcast is how bad they are nowadays, so might as well.
We should talk about the good games we had back.
We should
then.
have some more shaman voiceovers.
Pff, I've never had good games in this game, sorry.
Shaman, your braves are being blasted. Press M to whine like a bitch.
Jamin, you are shit. You are just shit. Like.
What the fuck?
That was good.
It was a good one. It was legit.
It really was.
Oh, I get it now. Okay.
Oh my god.
I was lagging behind. Get it?
You're so
Get it?
cringy.
Because lag and slow, and that's why I didn't pick.
There was also the Master of the Arena tournament, guys. The first,
I
the
heard
first
about that.
official
Very
tournament.
successful.
Very successful.
Very successful. Yes. Nobody
Great
showed
host.
up. You only had 3 people show up, and
We
then
had-
you were able to get a 4th, and you played the finals right away.
Exactly. We had 12 participants sign up for the tournament. 3 of them turned up. 1 extra was decided to help out and play. We played the final initially, best of 10 lives, and the guy who won was the guy who opted to help out. So, well done, Larissa. I think it's Divinity.
It is Divinity. Fucking Divinity.
I know what I'll
Cool
do. I'll sign up. I'll sign up for a tournament and then not even turn up.
That has happened throughout the, I don't know, 20
If
years
people
of
just
Populous.
had our resolve of showing up when they're supposed to for the Friday night free-for-alls and the...
Oh, fuck off.
You're gross. You're actually gross.
Oh, come on, it was funny.
You're in
No,
the
no.
car.
I am. Can you
Where
hear me
is
driving,
the
though?
fucking commitment?
Wait, can you hear me driving?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
you
can hear road.
We can. When you
Shit.
speak, we can, yeah.
I didn't know that.
My
I'm
god,
sorry.
it's so cold. I actually want
It's
to
not a
die.
weed whacker, so it's bearable.
Yeah.
Right,
it's-
right. It's not a weed whacker.
Hey, guys, so I'm getting married.
Yeah, buddy. And we're coming.
Awesome.
I'm
That's
getting
great.
married next year, and Hugo and I think it's called Keith should be coming to the wedding, and we'll meet up for the first time. But did you know that I also met James?
No, I didn't. Wait, yes, I did. I knew.
yeah.
Yes.
He talked about
Craig,
it.
Craig announced on Windows Live Messenger one time. He just it was a little bit out of the blue. He said,
Stop
so,
this
yeah, I'm
creepy
gonna-
talk. We can't have another creepy discussion.
If you would let me finish, I was just going to say, how do you want me to come over to your house at some point? We can meet up, And I'm like, oh, well, I can think about it, yeah. And I think you popped over for like 5 or 6 days or something like that.
I think it was like a long
with Quiz and
weekend.
Pop, yeah. Oh, we also went and saw Hot Fuzz as well. When it was out in the cinema.
Did we? Oh yeah, we went
Yes.
to the big IMAX thingamajig, didn't we, in Glasgow?
Yeah, the big Cineworld. We went to the top floor of that. I think it's still the tallest cinema in the world. It got a Guinness World Record for it.
Tallest cinema? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Everything's a thing.
Well, to be fair, Guinness World Records is the same world record where you kind of, jumping on a pogo stick while juggling eggs or something like that. You can make up any kind of shit, really. So,
Yeah.
You can get any kind of Guinness World Records if you really just put your mind to it.
I'm going to work on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Craig was over at mine for a bit. We saw each other play a few games. One thing we didn't do, I only had one computer at the time, to be fair, but we should have had a LAN battle of some kind, but we only had the one computer, so...
If I remember correctly, there was 2 computers, but your mum was on the other one.
Oh.
Aye, yeah.
Your mum was playing World of Warcraft. Does she still play that?
Oh my god.
Not anymore. She plays the card game that Blizzard have released. I can't remember what it's called.
The one
is this-
Hugo plays.
The card game? You mean Hearthstone?
Hearthstone?
Hearthstone, that's it.
Oh yeah. I'm actually playing it right now. Talk about commitment.
You're playing it right now.
Fuck you.
Jesus
Fuck
Christ.
you.
I'm not
Hypocrite.
disrupting the podcast.
No,
It's
but I
super-
wasn't either.
It's
I
literally. Oh yes, you are with
No.
noise.
I literally
It's
asked,
literally
can you guys hear
A
this
child's
head
card
clippers?
game. It's super fucking simple and easy. I don't even have to focus. It's mindless.
Uh-huh.
While you are mowing your fucking lawn, it's ridiculous. You son of a
I-
bitch.
I wasn't mowing my lawn.
I don't know. You do that.
I also met Smudgy.
I don't know who the
That's
fuck
right.
Smudgy is. Who the hell is Smudgy? Everyone talks about Smudgy.
No, it's just a guy who played. I think he got moderator privileges at some point. I'm not too sure.
I don't know who he is. Never heard of him.
He's somebody I introduced to Pop. He went to my school as well.
I
Yeah.
see. I see.
The minute he got moderator privileges, he just basically disappeared. Like, he just stopped playing. It was weird.
Fair enough. I think
But I
it's a.
That's like a syndrome with people. The minute they get promoted to moderator, they just instantly decide that they don't want to play the game anymore. It's like literally a thing. Whatever happened to Kiana, by the way, Seth? Whatever happened to her?
She came back a few days ago. She's been on the matchmaker a bit.
Really?
Yeah. Started banning people, I think.
Oh my god, that's so it's ridiculous.
I have never been banned ever.
Like, oh, me neither. I think.
I used to be really good friends with her. Like, we used to talk on Skype a lot, and then we didn't.
I used to be good friends with her when we used to speak on. Well, not good friends, but we used to speak on MSN on when her name was Shaman HP.
Oh, I remember that.
And when everyone thought it was a dude, but then when the name was changed, we sort of just. I don't know. I don't think I was around when she became an admin and stuff. She's actually a full blown admin.
Do you remember back in the day when people in Populous went girl crazy and like every single female Populous player was just like harassed?
That was pretty much every game ever, and that still happens now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I guess you're right.
That's like fucking. There was the story about Alex, is a very popular name in the lobby, isn't it? Alex, I think he's called.
Oh yeah, he pretended he was a girl though, didn't he?
Yeah, he pretended to be a girl, and someone actually went to his house to meet him, and then came to the door as a boy. Obviously,
cringy.
That's hilarious.
that's fucking weird.
That's weird. Yes.
What happened after that? Like, there's got to be more to that story.
Well, they went upstairs and just got on with the job, I suppose.
Oh, that's
YOLO.
okay. Yeah. I feel like you're making the story up. It doesn't.
I made the last part up.
Of course, that was pretty obvious.
No, I didn't know.
That fucking low. What the hell?
Anyway, so yeah, the tournament was a bit of a disaster, but there was a winner and rewards were divvied out in terms of leadership. Next one might be a 1v1. Anyway, what were we talking about? We met in real life, James.
Yes, we did. We got to chat. We got to see a movie. We got to play pop. I think we what else we did? We did tons of kind of stuff in the house, really.
Let's try and get a bit more populist orientated here. What do you think of the current state of the game? I mean, like you're obviously on the matchmaker role, not the game itself, but what do you think about the community and whatnot?
The community itself.
Is it changed a lot?
Back in my day, I think everybody was more aggressive towards each other in the chat. I mean, nowadays, yeah, it's pretty
Really?
bad with Matt and things like that. But I think compared to 10 years ago, I think it's a lot better, to be honest. Maybe a bit bad now, but 10 years ago was much worse. I can remember it. Everybody was loved with each other. Everybody hated each other. I certainly got that impression. A lot of people would spam whenever they could. Nowadays, I don't see any spam at all. Maybe just the odd or something, big massive chunks of it. But I honestly think nowadays it's better. It's just there could be more people. I would say that it just seems to be a bit more confined that way.
Yeah, I think no matter how you look at it, the population is slowly, even if it's slowly over the years, it is dwindling.
Yeah, it is. It's just. I think people are just getting older.
It's going to happen. People are getting older, and there's less young people playing the game because they're not interested in playing a 20-year-old game.
Well, what I'm realizing though. Oh, well, I'm just going to say, like, Cult and DBM and all those people. Like, I kept telling them, I was like, why would you leave? Come back and play. And, like, I realized, like, they probably didn't have a choice. They were just getting older. I think, like, some of them had family members. Like, Walhalla, like, he was fucking active for a long time, even though he was older. He was, like, 30-something playing this game and had kids.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't even play because he just probably can't. He doesn't even have the time.
Yeah. Though every single generation says this is the moment when Populous dies. This is the moment when Populous Reincarnated dies, and it never does. I mean, it's nearly going on. I think next year it'll be like 20 years the game's been released, and
we should do something
Matchmaker
special.
will still be going. Oh yeah, we should have like a 20th anniversary
have a
video or
birthday
something
party.
like that.
We should have
everybody get
an
together.
outdoor
Barbecue.
I don't know what I was gonna say. Just go on.
Outdoor barbecue.
I
Maybe you shouldn't
lost
be playing Hearthstone.
I lost my
Yeah.
my train of thought. I forgot
Yeah,
what I was
you
gonna
shouldn't be
say.
playing Hearthstone.
No, you fucking idiot. I know what I was gonna say, but I forgot the word in English, so I'm just gonna not say anything.
Keith, mind how I said I was probably going to go to America next year, which I
Yeah.
should time that for the 20th anniversary of Paul. Maybe we
Well,
should
I
do
don't-
something big.
I don't think the 20th anniversary should be in America. I think it should be in the UK, but I don't know.
I ain't going to
You
the
want to
UK
come over
next
here?
year.
It's fine.
I mean, you two will be coming to meet me next year, so maybe we'll do something then.
Yeah, 20th anniversary.
20th anniversary, Friday free for all.
No, we'll definitely play a Friday Night Free-for-All. Like, we're going to be there for a week. That's going to be a thing.
Play the Gabba. Play Gabba. We'll record ourselves just slagging Gabba off in person.
Yeah, you all need to bring your laptops and your webcams and just record that full blown.
Hugo doesn't have a laptop.
Yeah, none more. I'm sorry.
He's too good for a laptop.
That's not what I said. Jesus Christ.
One thing I want to talk about is there was a huge debate about what's a glitch in Populous and what isn't, and it really, really kicked off, I think, last year. I want to just get my take out on that. We all know the story, roughly, that Gabber recovered from his leave of absence and suddenly came back in and noticed, kind of like me, how the community's changed and people's concept of what's acceptable and what's not, it kind of differed from when he joined. So, and he wasn't too impressed. So, from what I gathered, he kind of said, right, this is how it's going to be from now on. Everybody's going to follow my rules, and I get to decide what's a cheat and what's not. If you don't like it, then screw you. And Inka was like, right, hang on a minute, this is not going to be healthy if we go down that path. And there was a huge fight over it. My view on this is, it shouldn't be up to somebody like Gabber or even Inka to decide what the rules of Populous should be. And there's a good metaphor for this. The game Monopoly, right? It's a shitty game, right?
I love Monopoly. I don't know what you're
Monopoly
talking about.
is no. See, when you play it properly, it's just bad, because see, when you know how to play it properly, you can just
never get a hotel.
Yep, that's it. Rule number one: never upgrade to hotels. Just keep your houses, and that way nobody else can get the houses off you, because houses are limited. You're not allowed to keep on adding houses. There's only 30 odd houses that you can get, so you just never upgrade, and you go for the orange street, the red street, etc., and just camp out around there, because that's where people get out of jail, and it's the place where you're most likely to land afterwards, and then you end up winning. But anyway, point is, because Monopoly kind of ended up as a boring game, well, in most people's opinion, they came up with this idea of house rules, and every single family would come up with their own rules. Like, if you land on free parking, you just get money from the middle. I don't know, things like auction rules and that are different, or just no auctions at all, the way that we played it. And some families would come up with this ridiculous rule that they would just throw money and let their kids just scramble for it and grab as much as they can. But the point is, they're inventing all this, all their all unique rules to the game, and they would play it within the confines of their own house, and as long as they agreed with the rules, there's no harm to it. And I think that's the reason why Monopoly became so popular, despite being such a kind of biased game. No, biased is not the word. Weighted game toward a certain strategy, and you can win easily. But it's still nonetheless become really popular because people were making up their own rules to add to the official rulebook. Now, imagine being Gabber in this situation. Imagine Gabber being the CEO of Monopoly, right? And just knocking on everybody's doors, looking in and saying, "You better be playing this game exactly as I specified in this rulebook, otherwise I'm going to take the game off you." Just knocking on every door saying, "You playing it properly? You playing it properly?" No. That's not going to work. I mean, let's say
that's something he would do, by the way. Just knock on every door, asking if you're playing right.
Yeah, imagine if pre-game setup in Populous, everybody agrees no backdoor. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if everybody agrees on it, it's pretty much de facto the same rule as it would be as, say, no blast trick or anything like that. As long as it's agreed beforehand, then it's pretty much a rule like any other, isn't it? So you may as well treat it like that. So, point is that you can agree about these things beforehand about that. So why not everything else, like blast trick or even
what glitches are you referring to exactly?
Well, I think the blast trick was the big one that that if you time your Shaman's blast in a certain
leave it alone
frame of her animation, she doesn't take fall damage. Is the idea, and
that's not something that can be fixed, because that happened. It happens on its own anyway at times. It's always happened back in the day, but now people learned how to time it. So
people know how to do it.
You can't just punish people for actually timing
that's the
something.
Problem right there. What if somebody does it accidentally? Are you going to punish somebody for doing it by accident? No. I mean, so it's just things like that. And my take on this is that maybe we should all define our own rules and just, if there is ambiguity about it, just agree beforehand, and then we wouldn't have a problem. So I think Gabber was just completely in the wrong there. And the Monopoly metaphor is a good example of why he's wrong there. So, yeah, there you go. But there are other glitches, that obviously people debate over. I mean, the other thing is forcing now. I think it's generally accepted that nobody likes forcing when it's a serious game, But if everybody agreed beforehand, do you want to make it okay to force? And everybody said yes. Would you therefore restrict it? No, I don't think you should. If all 4 players say, yeah, it's okay to force, then I think they should be allowed to go for it.
True.
But there's also sometimes I select all my fire arrows and press J, and then the one that's being selected just happened to push the shaman in the water. What's the problem with that?
Yeah, I mean, if you do that, if you can't, obviously, your camera's not around the entire planet at once. If that fire warrior that you press G for happened to push the shaman and you just weren't watching, you can't exactly, punish for it as well.
Maybe I wasn't watching, but maybe I knew what I was doing.
Yeah, but there's no way to prove it unless you were to watch a stream or something, but then it's...
Maybe I was so subtle. No, but I know what you said.
My God, Craig.
I'm just saying that glitches and things, when we played, nobody said anything about glitches. I mean,
nobody even gave a fuck.
No, Gabba didn't even... I think Gabba was probably the only one back in the day. I think he made forums about don't use the G trick, but everyone did it. Everyone did it. That's why warriors weren't as powerful as they are now.
I didn't use G. I'll have you know I didn't use G. I used Alt-Control, and I kept spamming Alt-Control. I didn't even press G.
That's the way I do it, yeah.
No, if my shaman was alive, I'd press J, but if I wasn't, I would tell them to continuously go to huts with a panel. Anything just to break the action up and set them to do something else. What if I really want my braves to go to huts now, but they won't go because a warrior's attacking them? I'm going to keep doing it. I'm adamant. They get punished for that?
Shit.
I don't do it. I'm being the devil's advocate.
You're going to do it. Of course you're going to do it. What? You're Craig.
When I first came back, it was habit. Just do
if
it.
you use a preacher to break away from a fight and then he starts preaching, I think that's pretty bad.
Yeah, but I do that all the time, especially if you watch my single-player videos. That's just my normal go-to.
Well, single-player, the AI doesn't give a fuck. So.
The AI does it.
Can't yell at you.
The AI fucking does it, the cheeky bastards.
Oh my God.
But the preacher's forcing me. Good hell. If the AI can do it, we can do it.
Right, Craig.
No, but I'm just saying back in the day, glitches weren't a problem. People still moaned and shit about like Brave Blasting and stuff, but the general consensus was you just get on with it.
True.
That's why I think that's probably one of the reasons why preachers weren't really used, because you didn't need them. You just used to force. I hate the word force. It's fucking horrible. You used to force your braves and fire warriors to get away from the warriors.
Yeah, and that way the fire warriors would keep shooting. Yeah. I mean. That's pretty bad. I think that's generally agreed that, you shouldn't do that. But if it was agreed beforehand that you could, then...
Why don't they shoot anyway, the silly bastards? They've got balls of fire on their hands. What are they doing fighting?
Right.
The point is that we should all define our own rules because at the end of the day, it's our games that we kind of... At the end of the day, anyway, we make up our own rules, like house rules and things like that.
I agree with that and I disagree. I disagree because there's a ranking system, and I think everyone who plays in the ranking system should have to adhere to the same rules. That's my only way I would say that. I mean, if you were playing unranked, if it was the old traditional leagues, then whatever, go, because it's just points. But now, if you're actually earning points for winning, this is why I get pissed off when people earn equal points for winning on shitty maps like CES, where someone can win a game on PP and get less points. I
agree that it's bullshit.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be ranked. I'm just saying there should be a set rule set. I've said this in multiple podcasts. Fuck it.
Maybe the ranking system shouldn't be based on whether you win or lose a game. Maybe it should be based on your other statistics. And do you think that would solve a few things, like how many shamans you kill, how many followers you kill? Or maybe
no, because then people will start camping the shamans and shit.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no one would ever try to win.
I'd still try.
Yeah, it's a difficult balance because it depends how seriously you take points. I mean, I'm in a better position to say, make up your own shit, but I don't care about points, so maybe it's easier for me to say that.
I don't know. I think there's now they've got the source code. They're working on the new game. I think whenever that gets implemented, like in 2047, 2048, when it does get implemented, we could maybe get some different changes to the settings and things. But until that time, I don't really know.
I mean, we've talked about this 30 times.
Yeah, I know it's the same old shit.
But
I actually commentated a good game yesterday. It was on Four Walls, and it'll probably be on my channel before this podcast goes up. But it was on Four Walls.
That's not a bad map.
I was,
terrible.
you know, Keith, I was thinking this map is shit. All I've seen is people do the same earthquake over and over again, maybe Sidol later on to spam earthquakes, but I was surprised this game was actually really good.
Right, but the map's shit.
I think the maps, it depends on the players.
Well, I've
Yes.
never seen anyone play that map differently.
Well, that's what I was thinking as well, but in this game, it was...
What the fuck did they do? Did they fucking create a huge hill and just flatten all the way to the other people's
No,
bases?
they just fucking attacked. They didn't fanny about charging earthquakes and attacking the towers. They fucking killed the shamans and went straight in and fucking crippled the enemy. And then the other enemy was on the fucking back for the whole game. It was really good. None of this pansying about, blasting all the braves when they saw them. No fucking complaining. Good game. You should see it on Monday. It was really good. It was probably one of the best games I've seen in a long time.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
I was
No,
like,
I haven't
this is how Populous should be played, you know? I even said it in the video, you watch it then, but fucking hell, it was really good.
I have my hopes up now, and I'm going to find it shit, and I'm going to sue you.
You sue me for damages.
Yeah, because I literally wasted my time watching a video you said where it's going to be...
I'll tell you what, Hugo, while you're watching it, just play Hearthstone.
Just I mean, no, you can't. You need to pay full attention to the video.
Oh,
shit.
fucking hell, whatever.
Four Walls is a good map. The only thing I don't like about it is it's diagonal, if you know what I mean. It's kind of I like it being, you know, either vertical or horizontal, but it's kind of a diagonal where you have to walk up the strip, and it kind of I don't know why, I'm just slightly OCD that way.
I despise that map.
I did want to bring up map variety. Did you know, right? I was looking before the podcast. I was looking. There's only six maps that are constantly played every month. 6, guys. It's about 100 and something maps. There's only 6. Can you guys guess? You guys who listen as well, try and guess which 6 maps are played nearly every week. Face Off, Pressure Point,
Sesame Palace,
4 Walls.
Sesame. No, not Sesame. The other one.
4 Walls.
Oh, Nuremberg.
Nuremberg Palace, of course. Yeah.
That fucking
That's 4.
that map on ASG Worlds that has the center with the land bridge head. That it's not Cess, but still low pop map.
Oh, yeah, Wom.
No, not one.
I don't think so. Tom.
No,
Tom was
Tom.
probably there.
Tom, yes.
Tom was there.
Can't mind what the other one would be.
One left.
Craters?
No, definitely
So what have
not.
we got? What did you say? Face Off, Pressure Point,
4 Walls.
4 Walls,
Nuremberg,
Nuremberg
and
Palace, Tom, and 4 Way.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that shitty shit. God damn it, I hate that map. I hate every single TGW map. God
Craters
fuck
isn't
you.
even on there anymore.
No, hell no. Did you know Meth, right? Your go-to player who's the best ever in the game, Keith, has played Craters 29 times in 3 years.
Oh, all right.
How do you see that, by the way? Let me check.
You have to go to the map pack leagues. I actually went through the map pack leagues because I was bored, and the only consistent player is Nissi, which proves he's like just above the rest.
Yeah.
It was sad when I went to Dead Sea and there was like 3 people in the league, but that's just my soul died a bit.
Plays everything?
Consistent that he's top of everything he plays.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I actually think Spinifex has been 1v1ing.
No way.
He's been 1v1 in Nissi and winning, I think.
That's not even true.
Hello.
I swear on my dad's grave.
You can swear on all you want. It doesn't make it true.
Is
There's
your
no
dad
way.
is your dad dead?
I don't know my father.
Oh well,
I
then,
never knew my father.
then that doesn't fucking count. Jesus Christ!
But I'm swear, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's been winning them. I mean, Pop's been back and forth, but I've seen him win a few games, I think.
How do I see the map pack leagues? For God's sake, map packs.
Map packs, then you go to the things and you click on the thing. I think it's crazy. Because it's another thing, I mean, the debate of which era of Populous players was better is a one we should have for a separate podcast entirely. That could go on for a long time.
Yeah, we should. I would love to do that.
And it's got to be an objective view. You can't, because, an objective view. You can't just say, oh, players are better now than they were back then because they upgrade, they dismantle. But of course, if you take that into account, of course they're better. That wasn't a wide known thing back then.
I'm
You know
not
what I
even joking. I really think that DBM is one of the best players ever. Honestly, like Hugo, you played with me on Dead Sea that one time when DBM was playing, right?
Yeah.
He got volcanoes like every
What an idiot.
2 minutes.
Look, it's volcanoes on Dead Sea.
No, I know, but I think he was just showing off his mana. Like he just had mana for days.
He didn't need the volcanoes. He was just like, "Hello guys, I'm
using
super
them.
good. You guys suck. Take this."
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I think
And on top of that,
Sorry.
no creatures. Like when when I played Nisi with Hugo, or I think it was Mentix, and we played that Crater's God of Gods tournament team thing that we were doing.
No, that was the one I did, you cunt.
Yeah, that's right. I knew it was you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember drummer was commentating and everything. But yeah, like Nisi doesn't know how to handle creatures, and none of the new players do. And all they do is they just bitch about creatures because like I said in our last podcast, I played Preachers 1v1 with Craig the other day. And not gonna brag, but I stomped the floor with Craig. Like I just was aggressive as fuck, and I kept attacking.
I can't believe you're bringing that game into the fold, considering I was sending 17 men to a hut because I couldn't click.
I didn't know, but anyway, all I'm saying is it changes the entire way you play the game if you have preachers on. It just does. Like here's the thing too. Like, even on face-off, if somebody side doors you and there's preachers on, like, you have to have a defense up on the side door or preachers are going to steal your entire base. And you can't fucking send your shaman to the middle and then send 30 warriors to the side door and expect those warriors to just do a bunch of damage. Like, right now in face-off, you're literally fucking stuck. Like, if somebody decides they want to side door you and they have control of the hill too, say goodbye, game over. Like, they bring their shaman to the front, you got to defend that, and then they got the troops coming in. Just makes no sense.
I think what you need to replace preachers with is with the word everything, pretty much. A lot of players these days won't play anything, and they'll just bitch rather than play it.
You know what else is good about preachers? The micromanagement. Like, getting your preachers to attack their preachers, and specifically that preacher, otherwise you're going to lose like 5 warriors, things like that in the chaos of the battle, it's pretty good.
My preachers managed to die to fucking, like, warriors. It's great. Love preachers.
I don't understand that either. Like, how preachers can sometimes preach the enemy, but sometimes they'll go up to the enemy and then be like, and then they'll just start fighting them.
They get disrupted by the slightest bit of movement.
Yeah, like
they're very, like, edgy. They're like, what the fuck was that a bee? And then they like, is that a fly above my head? They try to hit it with a book, and then they get killed by the warrior.
Yeah. So, I mean, quite honestly, though, I think preachers are a good addition to Populous, and it takes away the monotony of Pressure Point and Face Off and basically all the levels, really, because you don't have to go through the same old basics of, looks like somebody casted Landbridge on PP in the middle and side-dooring me, and they're sending 40 warriors my way. Like, now you can put a preacher in a tower and stop all those warriors, and they have to make preachers if they want to even do anything. And it stops that whole BS thing of people just charging spells and mana and trying to just out-mana the enemy. Like, I don't know.
What do four of those 6 maps have in common?
They only have one way to win?
I think no, they're not at the beginning, are they?
Face Off and Pressure Point don't have it, but they sort of have it to an extent.
I'm too stupid to think.
There's no Landbridge until you gotta pray for it or something.
No, they fucking all start next to Ally, and it's 2v2, but 1v1-ish, you know what I mean?
Alright.
It's like Tom, you're with your ally. 4 walls, you're with your ally. Cess, you're with your ally, until you get cut off, and then someone can't be with your ally. But people just seem to flock to those type of maps, and they are fun to play, but they're not exactly the most challenging maps to play.
Yeah, I suggested about pages ago where I had this idea of pre-built bases, and it's kind of like 4 islands or something like that. But your reincarnation site is in the allies' base, so your shaman would be protecting their troops and vice versa. So, but make it so that all the huts that are pre-built are large huts, so you can't, exactly dismantle and move to the correct, quote-unquote, correct base. Otherwise, you risk getting torn apart by your enemy. And I thought that was a good idea because it give like a teamwork element.
I like that idea. That's not bad. That's not a bad map idea.
I think there's a map on Team Nashua Worlds. It's just the same as that, Neely, but without pre-built bases.
Team Nashua World. Holy shit.
I don't know how I feel about pre-built bases, though.
That would probably be one of the situations where it would work.
One of the reasons why Nisi is so good on PP, by the way, is because he has literally played that map like hundreds and hundreds of times and practices, like, he knows exactly where to place towers in the back of his base so that he can build a full base in less than 3 minutes instead of, like, the standard thing where you build like your huts and you wait for them to get built, then you expand, and then you expand one more time. Like he puts a tower in the back of his base that literally lines up the entire exactly where to place the hut plans now, and he does it for every color. So
Keith, that applies to every player for every map that's currently played, pretty much. They all play the same maps over and over and over again, and then they get confronted with a different map, and it's all to pot. I mean, I just don't get it how this game can offer so many different strategies, but people just seem to stick with the same one, and they won't play other maps that offer different strategies, that require different strategies to win.
Fair, it's still exciting. It's still exciting to play those maps. Like I don't know about Hugo, but I still like playing Tom. I like playing TGW.
I have never liked playing Tom. So.
No, you're right. I hate Tom. I
hate Tom.
But I like 4-way. I like that. I like high mana games. Like I think it's fun. What I hate is that bullshit of starting out with a really small pop, and then you can only grow to about 50 or 60 unless you expand, and that really bothers me a lot. So
yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I
really
like
needs
strategy.
to.
It depends on the map design. Like Kratos is a low population, but that one works perfectly.
Yeah, well, because it's high intensity, and everybody starts off that way, and you can expand. Like everybody has the chance to expand. It's maps like Tom where you have to rely on your ally charging land bridge, and then you got, and it's even so, like Tom, like what everybody does now, what that T-Rod person does, he steals all the trees from the middle right in the beginning of the game, takes all 12 of his pop and runs them to the center and steals all 12 stacks of wood.
Makes sense.
It does, but I could easily counter that strategy immediately by going over there and waiting there and blasting them, and then he'd bitch and cry. And
well, do it. Then he won't do it anymore.
I would think he would just turn the Braves away and go back to his base.
Maybe.
What really needs to change about these same strats being repeated over and over is just introduce, new spells, or even turn some current spells off would be another idea as well on top of that. And
Sure.
I think it just requires someone to go, fuck it, I'm going to do something differently, because that's what I used to do. Me and Genesis used to do shit like that all the time when we allied together. We were the ones who fucking brought Convert back onto fucking Face Off, because we started allying and saying, fuck it, we're not playing with Convert Off anymore, so we fucking just did it. All it requires is the best players, because I spoke to Meth the other day and he goes, well, no one plays Kratos, that's why I don't play it. Host the fucking map, people will join it. You're one of the best players in the game, you sort of just say, play this, we're playing that, and everyone plays it. I mean, I don't get it, guys. That's how it was in my day.
Well, the problem is that the only hosters are Spinifex, Matt, and other people. And Matt loves
I can't hear you, Keith.
Nisi doesn't host ever.
Popular. I know. He doesn't. He should, but he doesn't.
I commentated a game on a map called Shapes. It was a weird map. It's on my channel now. But it was fun to see a different map, but it was played as if, I mean, the map design was pretty shit, but they just started by charging Earthquake and stuff. When it was a massive map, so it was sort of like it required, like Dead Sea play styles, but they just played it with Earthquakes and stuff. So people need to play different things and just learn more. You know what I mean? I think the game's more fun when you're not playing the same monotonous stuff over and over.
Yeah. You know what would be interesting is if we had that opportunity to do what we did on the Friday Night Free-For-All, where we disable Earthquake until a certain amount of time into the game, like Face Off, like no Earthquakes allowed until you reach 80 pop.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. See the
that would change Face Off for the better, I think.
Yeah. See the bold moves. Friday Night Free-For-All. I think that was your best one precisely because you started introducing all these new concepts, like you can't cast AOD until you're below 30 pop, and Magic Shield is only like 50 kills per Magic Shield and things like that. I thought that was that's what kind of made the whole thing kind of
Stop
come alive.
praising that fucking free-for-all.
No.
Wait till Friday Free For All Season 2. Woof, we've got something in store for you guys.
That's right.
Jesus Christ.
Including a new music introduction.
Oh, when I get around to making it.
Hugo,
Yeah,
Hugo.
will you please do that?
No.
All right. Well, guys, I do have to go. It's about an hour and a half. I have to finish my aunt's lawn before she gets home, or she'll get pissed. And then I've got an event that I got to go to in an hour, so I got to get ready and stuff. So.
Classic Keith. Get the fuck out.
What? An hour and a half? I gave you an hour and a half of my time. What do you want from me?
We don't care. We don't care. It's fine. Just go. Leave us.
Okay, fine. I will. But I love you all.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Keith. Have fun.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I've posted a message in the matchmaker saying if anyone's got any questions.
Oh.
Keith, message network dropout quitting.
I'll stay for that. I can stay for that.
No, you can't. Go away.
What? Fine.
Get out of here.
Quitter. Anyway, Hugo, meant to say, for the bold moves, I was the one who kind of partly suggested it. I just kind of said, Craig, you should put all these crazy restrictions in and see what happens. And he kind of came up with his own as well. So you've got me to blame.
Well, truth be fucking told, I despised that fucking game. Oh my god, it was bad for me. But well, I see why people like it. I mean, it was pretty frustrating to play it and to die. Like after a fucking hour of doing nothing because you're scared as fuck to die, and then you just die.
But I think it's because I died in such a monumental way that it made it good.
Probably, because, yeah, probably.
And the way that you came back as well at the end, I think made it.
Yeah, Keith just fucking got ravaged by his... I don't know how I won. Poor play by Keith, definitely.
I saw it. You were kind of training while Keith wasn't. You kind of had this burst of braves and you were just sending them to your training huts, and all the while Keith was just waiting outside your base, not kind of oblivious to what you were doing, and you just kind of lost it that way.
It was fun.
I remember Craig dying like an idiot. And I remember the stupid teleports. That's all I remember. And I remember that I have deep hatred of it.
You don't remember Keith casting the teleport and missing you with his swamp?
Oh, yes, I remember that.
That was terrible.
I can tell you about the time he swamped himself before. It was quite amusing. It was a one-life game. It was pressure point. He's going to hit me with the swamp, and he misclicked and swamped himself instead. He lost his only one shaman, that PB game.
Nice.
Oh, he's going to be so mad when he finds out I told that story.
That's classic, Keith.
There was actually a question from Babo when we tried recording this the other day, because for some reason it didn't record, guys. I don't know why it didn't record. Someone want to tell me why it didn't record?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great success.
For some reason.
Yeah, I know. That's why.
Yeah, he asked, what's your opinion on having a betting system for games?
I'm in favour of it, just because I'm mischief making like that. It would be cool if we had a stream of a pop game and the matchmaker just opened for bet for the first 5 minutes or something like that, and then shut. Well, this is just throwing out ideas. It could be 10 minutes or whatever, but afterwards, and everyone's just cheering on, for players sitting to win. But I think I kind of pointed this out a while ago, that there'd be kind of an incentive for bribery to take place, where a player loses on purpose, as a deal for another player losing on purpose in the future, and they kind of take points that way.
Didn't think of that one.
But if it's not taken seriously, I mean, have you guys been to the website Salty Bet before? It's on Twitch.
No.
No.
I'll show you it later. saltybet.com, I believe, is the domain.
Sounds awful.
What happens is, well, if you let me explain it, maybe I can explain to you why it's not awful. All right. What happens is there's this engine, this 2D fighting engine, a bit like Street Fighter, and but except you can put in your own customizable characters into it. It's kind of not exactly open source, but kind of like a hack where you can just throw in all these anime characters, and the engine sets up two AIs to play against each other, and it just match after match after match, and it gives you about 30 seconds before the match is played to tell you who the characters is, and everybody who's in the chat and watching the game just places a bet, and the currency is called salts, naturally, and you place 10,000 salts for this guy to win, and everybody bets, and depending on whichever character wins, the pot is split among everybody who bets successfully, and it's kind of fun and stupid that way, and every time before the match kicks off, sometimes the chat will try to troll you, but if you catch on to it early, you just ignore it. They'll say, always bet DBZ, never bet DBZ, always bet Gundam Wing characters, etc., etc. So it's things like that. As long as it's not serious, you can just maybe even make some kind of achievement thing out of it. Maybe, we can get a trophy for placing a 100-to-1 bet and still winning, or something like that.
Are you a spokesperson for Salty Bets?
It was really fun at the time. I don't go on it now, but might just go on it now that I've talked about it again. No, I am not a spokesperson. I just talk about things.
I see. I know people do bets and things on streams. I thought it's an okay idea. I don't see anything harm with it, but as long as once harm does start happening, like what you just suggested, Inga suggested, that's when it would have to stop. And knowing this community or the small few who like to do shit like that would probably ruin it for the rest of us. So maybe that's why it's not going to get implemented.
I wouldn't be pessimistic like that. I mean, there's no harm in trying it and see what happens.
It depends how hard it is to implement it. He's not going to implement. Is that synonymous? Synonymous? Implementate and implement?
I don't know.
The matchmaker's got something where you can see who's in the game setup before they actually go into playing. At that point in game setup, you can just right click the hut and say place bet on whatever player. But the only thing I would say is the allies would have to be decided beforehand. You would have to stop people from changing their allies. Once they get into the game setup, you would have to lock it. Make it so it's decided in the matchmaker, because you can't obviously see the game setup once they're there. So
yeah,
true. Let's get these teams locked. Big advocate.
I don't know. Yeah, I think as long as it's not serious, then sure. But
I'll tell you what might be a good idea. How about I bring up the matchmaker features and see what people have voted for and see what your opinions are on them.
I think there were a few questions, by the way, in the matchmaker. I forgot to check that.
There was just one from Inca asking why isn't his lawn growing in the middle section, but Keith's left now. He would have been the best to answer this.
Yep. 100%.
So here are the populous features that people have suggested. A lagless follower selection. Implement instant follower selection to make the game playable with a high ping. I don't think that's going to make the game playable with a high ping regardless. But I think that's pretty much it's in the new version, I think, anyway, where it's a bit more fluid.
I'm not sure I understand that.
Yeah.
Instant follow selection, so there's no delay between. I don't get it. It's when you've got a high ping, you press the thing and there's a delay, and they wanted to not have the delay, but the delay is there because there is a high ping, right?
Well, to an extent, I think I know what they're talking about. From a programmer's perspective, I know about this game. What happens is the host has three players joining, right? And basically, when a player, let's call it for simplicity, a client and the server, right? Let's say the server was the host and the client was the person joined. The client would click a brave, and that client would send a command to the server. The server would then have to acknowledge it, and then send a command back to the client before the brave goes, aye, and it says he's selected. And then the same thing when you get him to move, it goes to the same thing. You have to send a command to the server and then back. It's kind of like a one command at a time sort of thing, because it's like you can't, put commands in a queue and send the whole queue at once, if that makes sense. You kind of have to wait for it one at a time. So I think what the request might be talking about is where you can just click your brave, the point on the ground, and then the next brave, and then the point on the ground, and do that 4 things, and then send all those 4 things at once and get all 4 commands back. So there's less of a delay. All the 4 commands are executed at once. Does that make sense?
My fucking god.
There's another option that says mute players. The description is, Inca says this is easy to do. Allow you to mute players in game.
That is great.
I would like that.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
Good job.
In the options of the matchmaker, you can toggle between hearing only your allies and hearing everyone. Well, that would sort of block you from speaking to anyone else in the end, though, wouldn't it? Mute everyone who I have blocked. That would be good. So if you block someone on the matchmaker and you don't want to speak to them in the game either, but you still want to play a game, you can block them.
Yeah.
Ability to watch any running game natively without streaming. Anyone who is logged in on Matchmaker can watch any running game just by clicking on player's name and choosing watch game. Okay, that's never going to happen.
Regardless of like how long it's been going on for?
Yeah.
Okay, no. It's not happening. I mean, it would be great, of course.
It would be great, but that's never going to happen, not in this version.
Wait, is that like the same as basically turning everyone into a spectator?
It basically means anyone can watch the game at any point. You don't have to spectate at the game startup. You can just, if someone's playing a game, you can just press watch and then bingo, you join the game. You connect to the host when you're in the game.
That might actually be possible. You know how like in single player you can just load up a game in the middle of it. It wouldn't be that much of a stretch, I don't think. Probably possible.
I think it would probably cause a shit ton of issues. Probably possible in the new version whenever that gets implemented in 2079.
So much faith.
Change map pack in game setup. Well, that's because obviously it was disabled at one point. Now people wanted it back, even though it should not have been. I don't know. Anyway, allow 2v2.
Wait, that was a thing?
Yeah, you couldn't change your map pack in your game anymore. Your map, yeah. Oh no, change map pack in game. So sorry, allow you to change the map pack in game.
Yeah.
No, you can't. You can't do that, can you?
No.
How would you do that?
I don't know. That doesn't seem to.
Basically,
weird.
that just comes down to rather than going into the pre-game lobby, you just set up everything up in the matchmaker. That's how it should be.
Yeah,
And then press launch on the matchmaker, and then straight in the game.
Yeah, no time wasted.
Allow 2v2 spectators to chat in game. I don't see anything wrong with that as long as they can only talk to themselves. I don't think you should be able to speak to the enemy or ally, otherwise the players because you're fucking be stupid.
Fucking obviously, Craig.
Yeah. Well, you know what some people like. You know what? Don't say obviously because I actually tried to return to this game in 2012. I think it was. I thought I've got a lot of free time. I'd go back to Populous and try and play it again. 2012. This is 5 years ago when I had free time. People were pausing the game at the start of the game and putting hooklands down. I thought, fuck this. Whoever implemented this is a moron. I am out of here.
No, listen. The patch was great for the game. The thing is, no one thought of it. No one thought about what. The patch wasn't just that. It was a lot of things. You could talk in the middle of
I know what it was for. Yeah.
So it was a great patch, but then Matt started abusing that fucking thing, so they had to.
Of course he did.
Get rid of that.
No, but it's bad enough now that you can pause the game and still move around. Any multiplayer game I know, like this, once you pause the game, you're stuck.
Freezes.
All you can do is type. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still move around and have a look and check your enemy out. So this was even more worse. It was you could put plans down. You could play the game while paused.
Yeah, well, you can only.
So I left.
You know what was? You could actually select units and tell them what to do while it was paused.
Really?
Great.
That's fucking terrible.
It shouldn't just freeze your screen. It should also make your screen black so you can't, take a look at your followers and think about what to do. It should do something like that.
That sounds like a key suggestion. That's a bit extreme, James. just block it. Don't let you press the bar or anything. But yeah,
streamers have got to be careful. By the way, if they're streaming their game, the player they're playing against, if they have two monitors, might get the stream on the second screen because I've got two monitors here.
Ghosting. That's what they call it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and have a look at what spells you're charging and get an advantage that way.
If people are going to stream, there is the possibility of doing that. That's why a lot of people put delays on them, don't they?
Yeah, usually.
There's a few minute delay.
I mean, famous streamers are used to that shit usually, so they don't give a shit.
Yeah. Basically, what we're suggesting here is bring this game up to the modern era. Modernize the game, but it can't be done. Not without a team, not without the new version, not without all that fun stuff.
I would consider programming the source code if I were paid to do it.
Well, we'll see no chance.
I'm just going to make it clear that I have no fucking idea what that means.
I'm more of an idea person. I know how things should be, I just don't know how to implement it.
The source code is like the recipe for the game. It gets translated into machine code and computers just run it. But the source code is kind of like the readable version of it, so it's not just all ones and zeros. People can program it that way.
Oh, so that's when there's open source codes and closed source codes. When it's closed, it's like
if something's open source, it's like, isn't it just like everyone just go for it?
Well, open source means basically there's no copyright on the code, and anybody can jump in and
isn't that how players mod games?
Yeah.
Only if they can. They need that source code because otherwise they have no choice but to think about it in ones and zeros and just put in random ones and zeros and hope for the best. It'd be tedious that way. But if it's in source code, it's readable. You know how it's kind of translated. So you get statements like if x equals 1, then y equals 2, things like that, and you're like, oh, I know to put that in there, and it comes out the other end. It's machine code that way, but open source is a bit different.
That's why prior to actually getting the source code from EA or whatever, the only way to really go about doing this would have been to what's the word? I just had it in my head a second ago. What do you call it when you what was it? I had it in my head a second ago. When you do something,
oh my God.
We have to do it backwards to figure out the code. What's that called, James?
It
begins with an R.
Imagine you must I remember a few folk would load up the .exe and it would be in hexadecimal. So it's just another way of showing it in machine code. And you just get all these random numbers and people would just fire in, random numbers and just hope something changes and just, trial and error, really tedious trial and error. What happens if I change this number or the 0 to 1,
Reverse engineer.
Yeah, basically like that.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But source code, it makes it much easier because you can read shit, which we now have.
Apparently. And a feature to fix lost clicks. Implement packet resender in matchmaker options to fix lost clicks. Oh, what is this? People speaking like about the future or something. Option for mouse sensitivity. Sure,
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yes.
I hate having to fucking every time I get a new Windows or I just reset my system, I have to fucking sync my Windows mouse sensitivity with my fucking... Oh god, it's terrible.
Because what it means, Craig, is basically we can put up the resolution to whatever we want and the mouse will still move at the same speed.
Yeah, I know. Brilliant. It'd be loads better. Better reconnection. Many people lag out and they can't really connect to the game. And they can't even load the game. Well...
Let's go back to the...
That's peer-to-peer, isn't it? Let's go back to 56k modems. That's the only time it worked, really, wasn't it? If the host quit, you'd go to the next host. That was only on 56k modem time and things like that.
I don't know.
Records game natively. option to record and play back games with a built-in Populous recorder. That would be awesome, but no way that's going to happen.
So positive.
Well, it's just not feasible without an actual team working on it. Population counter. What? This feature would only work for spectators, not game watchers, as they can chat in-game.
Right.
What?
Okay.
I think that means that you can see the populations of other players, not just the person you're spectating from.
So basically, the information is already available in the graphs if you refresh the page every 20 or 25 seconds. So it's basically once that put into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Press tab, show the fucking populations.
Yeah, something like that. Who unpaused? As the game is unpaused, there will be a message in the chat area saying, for example, someone has unpaused the game. It would disappear like the chat disappears after some seconds.
It's usually obvious.
Yeah.
Usually, but not always.
Not always.
Yeah.
An in-game beacon or ping. Very useful for team games. This is basically you would how you've got they got flares in other games they call. You would flare an area and it would make a noise on the map for your ally to go and have a look at it. That would be a good idea. Rather than saying watch, you would just flare an area.
Oh, right, yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like you could say to your ally, attack here, and then you press the flare, and then they know exactly where to attack.
Just pings, guys. Pings.
The only thing I would say is if the camera were far away from the flare, there would have to be some kind of arrow pointing towards it, on the edges of the screen or something like that. Yeah,
because the minimap's a bit shit, but I could go on the minimap maybe if it was better.
Minimap never works.
Minimap's great. I don't know what you're talking about. It's great.
Key configuration. Ability to remap keys that only affect the game and not the operating system. It is useful to remap right alt and space. It is useful to remap right alt, space, the panel buttons actually. This way you can keep your left hand in one place the entire game, not something fast to play. Been there, done that, get the t-shirt, next.
Yeah, but I don't have to change my registry. I can just make it in the freaking game.
Yeah, but I can change my registry and sign out and sign back in 2 seconds, so it's alright. I only changed my registry for 3 keys. All the rest I've got a program to do it for me, so it's fine. Lock teams. Add a setting in the matchmaker for the host to set and lock the teams prior to launching the game, so teams cannot be changed in game.
Yep.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah, baby. 3v3, the opportunity to join 3v3.
What?
Let's do it right now. This could be implemented tomorrow.
Yeah, let's just make a whole new game. Let's new tribes, new everything.
My programmer's heart is just sunk.
If that's one thing that fucking kills me inside is when people would suggest let's get new rankings, new balloon rank, boat rank. Jesus Christ, people just no.
This one's the best. Window mode. This will be an option for Populous at the beginning. You can put the game in windowed mode so that it will not be full screen. This will enable to switch between screen and not minimize the game, and you can use OBS overlays for custom streams. It's got one voter with 30 votes, so the same guys must have been voting on it for a year.
Yeah. I've got shadow play with my NVIDIA card. I think it would put the overlay up anyway, but
This one might be you for you, Hugo. Custom angle on the bird eye view camera.
Custom angle, like
I don't know what I mean. We should have the ability to set the camera angle to whatever we prefer in the bird's eye view. For example, someone had 90-degree top-down bird eye view using some hacks, or Alex had 90-degree top-down view using some hacks, and some players may like 60-degree angle, or maybe somewhere between normal bird eye view and medium. What the
Jesus Christ,
Basically,
dudes.
yeah.
You want to
That-
just
that sounds
customize
weird.
the angle completely. Populous FPS should be increased from 30 to 48. It's actually already 60 in the new version anyway.
Yeah, beta.
Beta, that's coming out in 2084, I think.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
94-year-old
Rejected
thing.
features. Racism table.
What?
Racism table. As people and nations' racist behaviour never changes. Like USA, UK, Germany, and other countries, we must make a table or conference tab nearby chat table where we could say anything freely. What?
What a fucking joke! Oh my god.
Someone wanted a racist chat room.
Are you serious?
This is
Oh
what...
my God.
There needs to be a table or conference tab nearby chat table. I don't know who's wrote this. Obviously someone who doesn't... Where we should say anything freely.
Chat window anyway. You know,
We
you can
that's,
invite
that's
conference.
definitely- It's funny too because we just like an Indian living in Norway and he's racist. How the fuck do you manage to be racist? Whatever.
They were rejected, so...
Good.
Rejected for good reason.
We still have fucking hope.
There's a one here that says, implemented features, save or restore failed game. That doesn't work, guys. How good would it be if that actually worked?
Well, it could work. You know, maybe with some effort, like backup games that are happening right now. That would be good. You know, like a save game option. You just pause the game in the middle of it, and you're just like, save. Let's save this, guys.
That would be great. Or if it saves automatically before the game lags out or something.
Yeah. Like when object overload starts happening, you're like, hey, I'll have to save this shit because, you know.
Let's save the shit and come back later to play some more object overload.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's obviously going to crash, so. Can people still crash games? Or is that just fixed?
I can. Yeah, I know a way.
Great.
No, it doesn't crash the game, it crashes my game, sorry.
It's useful.
I was going to say not the whole game, it crashes my game. If I change the sound settings, I'll crash.
Kind of useless then, Craig.
It's
Wow,
very
you
dated. It's very dated. So those are the features that have been implemented. Anything else you wanna add? Because we've been going on for a while now, and we don't think we've actually covered a great deal. So, anything else you want to add before we sign out? Anything you want to add, James?
Not I can think of except to say I'm still amazed that the game's still been going on this long. It's quite extraordinary. I mean, compared to other games that were made at the time, you know, there's only a few of them that have got communities that have lasted this long, I imagine.
Yeah, you're right. But the old games, like 1998 games, successful games like Populous was successful, right? Was successful, I think.
Not relatively,
back
I
then.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, well, usually there are, you know, sequels to the games. Populous was just forgotten because EA. So
Well,
that's why they die. Because there's newer versions.
you know what came out a year after Populous?
What?
Age of Empires 2. You know how
True.
many people still play that to this day? At least
Yeah, but
10,000.
But you know, like, Microsoft hit the nail on the head with EA, like with Age of Empires, but not all of them are good. So people just play the good ones, which is basically two.
Yeah, 2's the only one. One's coming out soon though. The redefined version. Looks
Yeah, they
awesome.
can't mess that up. It's not possible to mess that up.
That looks awesome. Imagine if they did that with Populous. If no one's seen the Age of Empires original game Definitive Edition trailer, go and check it out on YouTube. You can see what could happen to Populous with a full-blown team was behind it. That would
Well,
be
let's pay
fucking
for it.
awesome. Let's pay for it. Anyone got a few grand, a few million? Let's go.
There's
Think-
no fucking way. There are no like super rich people playing Populous. Come on,
I
man.
think Inca just needs to be brave and put in paid features, and then we can get something going.
I think if he puts in paid features, we might get enough money to renew the game by 2,249.
We've been good with the dates today, huh?
I have.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
You're a very positive person, that's for sure.
I'm so positive. More positive
Yeah.
than you.
Absolutely. Yes.
You quit our last game. You gave up on our last game because you were
I
so...
said I don't want to play, and then you died in 2 minutes.
Is this
and
the
I was
I
like,
didn't die. I didn't die. You all thought I was dead, but I was perfectly fine.
It's you know what's the problem? You are so used to fucking bluffing about your fucking shitty pop that, you know, even your ally fucking believes it.
I was terrified you were going to recover. I'm like, no, this is not going to happen to me again.
I asked him, Craig, are you dead already? And he was like, yeah, pretty much. And I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, but I wasn't. We were ahead by 100 pop.
You know what you could have done then, you piece of shit? You PM me and you
Can't
say,
type.
I'm not dead.
Can't type.
Oh, give me a break.
I thought you'd be used to my wily ways by now. Maybe not.
Are you serious? You're so ridiculous. Well,
I was also scared you were going to get into Mummy's base, Hugo, and then be like, oh.
I was, but then I would earthquake and die. I did have 199 pop, I just couldn't do anything with it. Yes, I'm pretty mad.
Okay, guys, listen to this. If you're still listening to this by now, bravo. But leave your questions in the comments or for topics on the next one. Maybe we'll try and get an interesting guest. No,
Wow.
Oh, am I not interesting, Craig?
Wow.
I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean interesting. I meant like, I thought maybe we could try and ask Inga if he wants to come on. You know what I mean?
I love how he realized how...
I realized how bad it was sounding as I was saying it. I didn't mean it in that way at all. You know, he knows I don't mean it.
I know, Craig.
Maybe we get someone who isn't a fucking boring fart on the next podcast.
Inca, you should join and talk about pop.
Yeah, James, give us some questions. You write us some questions now because you had a few questions because with you being a programmer and stuff, you know maybe what we need to ask.
Yeah,
you hit us up.
Yeah,
I'm really curious to see what Keith's gonna ask him.
Oh man, he'll be fucking mowing the garden, man.
Ika, are you autistic or not?
Oh, if he asks anything like that, we'll just have to kick him.
Keith. Yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah, you can go. Just go.
By the way, it's horrible when he says stuff like that.
Yeah, it's serious too.
I know.
You know what? He calls people sociopaths, but that's what being a sociopath is. You don't realize like what you're. Yeah, I don't know.
You think you're being normal?
Fuck you. Every time. Yeah, you gotta go. I have things to do. Go fuck yourself in your busy life, motherfucker.
Yeah, guys, if we do get one of the owner of Populous Reincarnated on the podcast, what questions would you ask him? Either send me an email to populouspodcast@gmail.com or leave them in the YouTube comment sections or just message me on Matchmaker or something like that.
Which is probably what they're going to do because they're not going to email you because, you know, it's too much work. So just
but if you email, you get priority. I'll put it there.
Oh, give me a break.
Email me. I want to. We're now inbox to flow.
Well, yeah, he wants to be famous, guys. He wants to post it on his Facebook page. Look at how many.
I actually removed Facebook from my phone.
Oh, really?
I do, actually.
I got it from my phone. I got rid of Messenger as well. I was just sick of it.
Oh, never mind. I didn't. I got rid of Messenger.
I just don't like it. I'm only on it because I feel like I'm obligated to be because I live across the globe from my family.
Yeah, you kind of do.
Anyway, guys, any final thoughts?
No. You know me.
No words of encouragement, Hugo? No? Okay, James?
Populous or death?
Populous or death? Well, thanks for coming on, James. We actually got it completed the second time around. Thank God we did. I'm watching the bars go up as I'm recording this, so it has been recorded, guys. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you do like the channel. If you haven't already, if you're watching this so far and you haven't subscribed, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know what is wrong with you. Take care, guys.